Since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, the world has witnessed a conflict that has reshaped international relations and global stability. Recent escalations, including intensified fighting in eastern Ukraine and shifts in military support from Western allies, have brought the war to another critical juncture. As the conflict grinds on, understanding the varied international perspectives is more crucial than ever to grasp the full scope of its impact. From Washington, the response has been robust and unwavering. The United States, alongside its NATO allies, has spearheaded the effort to arm Ukraine, providing billions of dollars in advanced military hardware, intelligence support, and comprehensive training. This aid is framed as essential for defending not just Ukrainian sovereignty, but also the broader principles of international law. Diplomatic efforts have been equally central, with the US leading initiatives to isolate Russia through sanctions and build a united front among democracies. The core message from the White House and the Pentagon is clear. Russia's aggression must not be allowed to succeed, and the transatlantic alliance stands firmly with Ukraine. Speaking from Paris and Brussels, the European Union's perspective is one of existential concern. The conflict on its eastern flank has forced a fundamental reassessment of the bloc's security architecture and energy policies. The EU has imposed unprecedented sanctions targeting Russia's financial, energy, and defense sectors, aiming to cripple its war economy. Simultaneously, Europe is grappling with a profound humanitarian crisis, having welcomed millions of Ukrainian refugees. The challenge for the EU is to maintain unity among its 27 member states, each facing different economic and political pressures, while navigating the delicate balance between supporting Ukraine and avoiding a direct confrontation with Russia. In the global south, reactions have been far more diverse. Nations across Latin America, Africa, and Asia have viewed the conflict through a different lens, often shaped by historical non-alignment, economic dependencies, and skepticism of Western foreign policy. While many have condemned the invasion, others have abstained from UN resolutions or maintained neutral stances, prioritizing their own national interests. The economic consequences, including soaring food and energy prices, have hit these countries particularly hard, fueling concerns about global instability and diverting attention from pressing domestic issues. The refugee situation is also seen differently, with many pointing to the contrast in reception compared to crises in other parts of the world. On the global stage, the United Nations has served as a primary forum for diplomatic condemnation, though its Security Council has been paralyzed by Russia's veto power. Secretary General Antonio Guterres has repeatedly called for de-escalation and facilitated crucial initiatives like the Black Sea Grain Initiative to mitigate the global food crisis. Behind the scenes, various countries, including Turkey and more recently China, have attempted to broker peace negotiations. However, these efforts have so far failed to bridge the fundamental gap between Kiev's demands for the restoration of its territorial integrity and Moscow's strategic objectives. The situation on the ground remains volatile. Recent permissions granted by key allies for Ukraine to use long-range missiles on targets within Russia mark a significant policy shift, aimed at disrupting Russian logistics. This has been met with intensified nuclear rhetoric from Moscow, raising the stakes and increasing fears of a wider conflict. Both sides are digging in for a protracted war of attrition, with no clear end in sight. As we look toward 2025, several potential scenarios loom. A frozen conflict, a negotiated settlement, or a decisive military breakthrough all remain possibilities, each with profound implications. The role of the international community will be decisive, sustaining support for Ukraine, managing the escalating economic fallout, and continuing the pursuit of a just and lasting peace will test the resolve and unity of nations around the globe. The path forward is uncertain, but the decisions made in the coming months will undoubtedly shape the future of global security for years to come.